So n8n version 2 is finally here, and in this video I'm going to show you step by step all of the different changes. I'm going to have the old version and the new version side by side, so that way as I walk through the changes you can see exactly what's different. I'm going to show you step by step how to update your n8n, so that way you have this version 2. I'm going to talk about self-hosting, virtual private server hosting, and the cloud version as well. We're going to talk about the good, the ugly, and the bad, everything you need to know to make sure that you're aware of what's coming next and what's happening right now. Alright, let's get into it. So if you don't have n8n installed, go ahead and click on the link in the description. You can sign up for a 14-day cloud account. It should automatically take you to version 2, but in case you don't, you'll end up right here. And for those of you who already have n8n installed, basically go back to your overview, or right here you can click on the overview. It's going to bring you to your canvas showing all your workflows. The way to update this, on the left-hand side, you're going to click on admin panel. So once you click on admin panel, this is going to actually take you to your dashboard right here. So what you need to do is you need to click on this little gear icon, which is your setting. And then right here, it says n8n version 2 or n8n version. I have in this particular one 1.1225, which was their latest beta. So the way to do it is you're just going to click on 2.0 right here. As you can see, it says latest beta. One important thing right now, this is on beta. I think the production or the stable, they're planning to release it on December 15th. So next week, I believe. But anyways, you can take advantage of the beta right now. So once you click on this, all you have to do is click on save changes. This is going to take like a minute or so, and it's going to restart your n8n instance, and then you can click on your dashboard and go back to your open instance. And this is going to take you exactly where you were before, where now you can click on your create workflow. So that's how you update your n8n. And once you update your n8n, it's going to look something like this. Again, right off the bat, you can't really tell the difference as far as the old version versus new version on your kind of overview dashboard. But let's go ahead and click on create new workflow. So I'm going to create a workflow on the new version, which is this, and then also on the old version. All right. So on the left-hand side, we have the version 2.0, and then the right hand side I have the n8n version 1.0 or 1.22, whatever it is. But this is the old version, this is a new version. Okay, so a few important things visually. I think there's a lot of changes that happened on the visual aspect of your canvas. First of all, let's go ahead and take a look at the sidebar, because that was a big change that they made. So first of all, the way to access, again, on the new one, you kind of have to come over here and hover, and then this little sign shows up, and you're just going to drag it, right? Now, on the old version, you're just going to click on this little arrow and it would pop that up. To be honest, I kind of like the old version because it's a lot easier versus coming here and kind of like dragging this. Anyways, that's just my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Okay. So another important thing right after bat, as you can see right here on the left-hand side, on the sidebar. So the sidebar on the old version, you had your, right here, as you can see on the bottom, you had your account name, and then right next to it, you had these three little dots, right? And if you clicked on it, that's when the setting would show up. On the new version, as you can see right here, this is readily available. So all you have to do is just kind of come to the bottom, click on setting, and everything else shows up. This is really cool, actually. I really like this because now you have automatically access to like adding MCP access or going directly to an SSO. But all of these different setting options are available right here versus in this one, the old one, where you have to click on these little dots, three little dots, and then click on setting, and then you would have to get out of your workflow and then go to the settings page, which was a little bit annoying. So I kind of like this update a lot. And then another thing on the sidebar, again, as you can see, now the projects show up on the left-hand side here versus on the right-hand side, you have to actually click on add project. So that's kind of the updates, quick updates, the important updates on the sidebar. And by the way, you can take a look at the release notes right here. So if you click on, I'm going to put the link in the description for the release notes as well. If you click on n8n version 2.0 right here, if you click on releases, it's going to take you to the GitHub page. Now, if you're not familiar with GitHub page, then don't worry about it. But I am going to talk about the features. These are the important ones, the most important ones. So anyway, so that's one big one right there on the sidebar. So let's go ahead and add a few nodes, because again, here's where another big change has occurred as far as the visual aspect of the node itself. So I'm going to actually add our n8n AI agent, which is probably the most popular node. All right, so I just added a few different nodes in the AI agent so that way you can see the difference visually, and I'll add some more here. So right off the bat, you can see the new version, the AI agent and all the nodes are kind of like plastered. It's kind of blended inside the canvas here. And then on the old version, you can see they have these kind of outer line, which was kind of, popped up, and you could see exactly the outer edges of each node. On the new version, like I said, it's kind of blended into the environment or blended into the canvas here. I kind of like this. This is more futuristic, although it might take some time to get used to it. But like I said, I really like this version too as well. But as we go through and test this, you'll see why now the changes here make sense versus the old version. Okay, so another visual change that occurred, and this is where some people might like this, some people might not. So let's go ahead and test, click on open chat here. So you can see once a workflow gets executed, the look of that execution has changed, at least in the test environments. If I click on open chat on both of them, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of send a quick hello. So this is the new version. So I'm just going to say hello. I'm going to press enter. As you can see, the way it's processing this has changed. Right now, kind of this orange thing kind of goes around these corners. So maybe that's why, as far as the outer lines, you don't see it. And then on the old version, so if I just type hello, same thing, you will see it had that little spinny things, right? Which kind of looked really cool, to be honest. Like it showed, especially doing demos. And I remember I was working with one of my clients in my AI agency, and they were like, well, can you actually please make sure that those spinny things shows up when we're doing client demos? And I kind of just laughed because, but I guess, it looks really cool, especially when you have multiple different nodes in your workflow where all of them are processing and you can see exactly, what's going on in which particular node. But anyways, again, personal preference. I do like this new version. It kind of does look futuristic, to be honest, especially when it's like processing and you can see exactly which nodes are active. But it's going to take some time to get used to it. So another thing is, if I just add another node, so for instance, let me go ahead and add a tool here. So I'm just going to add this quadrant vector database. So that way you can see how pronounced the colors are. And let me add the same here, so that way you can see the difference. So I think with the new version, you can see the colors really pop out, the logos, for instance, compared to the old one. So that was a quadrant one. And let me get rid of this. We can add something else. So that way you can see the difference there as well. So this time I'm just going to go ahead and add let's go ahead and add an Airtable tool. All right, let's see if we can tell the difference here. Get rid of this. All right, so I guess not that big of a difference, but I think in the new version, you can see the colors really do pop up for the different tools that you add compared to the old one. And I think that's because it doesn't have these outer lines on the node. So that's why it's kind of more pronounced. But a few changes that you can notice here. Now, if I hover over the little, like, let's say the chat model, the memory here, you can see these little diamonds kind of like pop up if you hover over, versus the old one where if you just kind of hovered over these different connections, it just would become this orange color, right? So versus the new one, you see that it pops up. Another important thing you probably notice, if I come to these connections, if I click on these lines or just hover over the lines kind of become a bit more pronounced with the same gray color, versus here in the older version, the lines kind of became orange. This is another personal preference. I kind of liked that this was orange because you could see exactly what you're hovering over, especially these connections, versus the new one. Like I said, now instead of the different color when you hover over, it just kind of becomes a little more pronounced, or it just kind of pops up, versus the old one. Like I said, even in these ones, it kind of showed you exactly what you're highlighting or what you're hovering over. It would highlight it with a different color, which again, like I said, from my preference, I kind of like that. But again, we gotta keep up with the changes. So that's another new thing that showed up. So now let's go ahead and talk about, besides the visual aspect of it, actually let's go ahead inside the n8n AI agent. There is no difference here. As you can see, it's the same exact thing. If you guys find out some differences, let me know. But it looks like there's no changes. Just one thing, I don't know if that's because I tested this earlier, but as you can see on the AI agent here, the input node doesn't show any data, but on this one, it kind of shows this these different fields below that come from a successful execution. Again, maybe that's something that's also in the old one, and maybe I just clicked on the new one. But as I go through these different things, we will kind of explore the changes to make sure that we cover everything. All right, so that was kind of the visual aspect of the AI agent node. Same thing if you add like additional nodes. So let's say if you add a data transformation node, I mean, your code node is probably one of the most important one, and I'm going to talk about this one as well. So if I click on code node here and I add a Python node, So that's the one. JavaScript and Python are the two most popular one. So I'm just going to go ahead and add code node. Boom. All right, there you go. So now let me pull this over here. As far as nodes itself, it doesn't look that big of a difference. Another thing is these connectors are also different. See, and these ones, it was kind of like the little rectangle, and now it's like all of them are these little circles, which kind of makes sense because it's kind of more cohesive. Another important change is actually on the Python node itself, or the code node and the Python language itself. Now, compared to the release notes, it says that, so if I go back to the bottom here, Core introduces native Python code tool for AI agent. This is very, very important because before you had to kind of jerry rig it and it was annoying. But for most people, this won't apply because maybe you're not used to using code, and with n8n, a lot of people are no code. But, you know, code node is one of the most important nodes to utilize inside your AI automation. So very, very important. If you are not using it, please make sure you do, especially now with ChatGPT and Claude, you can just add custom code everywhere. So as you can see on the new one, it says code in Python native. In the previous one, this was beta. So again, code node is supposed to have improved in the Python a lot more, but you know, as we test that out, we'll find out more. So that's another difference there. So go ahead and keep adding different nodes here. See if you see any difference. Like I said, I've been playing around with it. It looks like majority of them look exactly the same, except just the connections, or these connectors in the old version had that little rectangle, and then a new version, everything looks like it has this little circle, which again, for the purpose of maintaining everything the same, it makes sense. So visually, again, everything looks cool. All right. So now, another important change as far as the overall aspect of your canvas is the fact that on top here, so as you can see on the old one, in order for you to make your workflow active, you had to come to the top here and you had to click on this or toggle this active inactive one, right? So let me get rid of this because otherwise it's going to throw an error. Boom, there you go. All right. So if I click on active here, inactive here, this would just basically have this pop up. You can say do not show this again. So now it just means that now this workflow is active, and you could change, if you're using a webhook, for instance, you can change it from production URL to, or test URL to production URL. In the new one, the way to make your workflow active, I guess, as you can see right here, this active one button is completely gone. So now you have to click on publish. So once you click on publish, now this is going to go ahead and pop up this public workflow, and it's going to tell you to go ahead and fix the issue. So let me get rid of this. I'm just going to shut it down. So I'm going to click on publish. Now it's going to have this version name. Now, again, when I was testing this, I couldn't really find out if there's a way for you to access these different versions from the web. But I guess now you have the ability to have different versions of your workflow, and you can describe the changes. So for example, you can just say added Python node, right? So if you click on publish now, so now this will be published, and on the right hand side, as you can see, version 1 just published, right? And then on the right hand side here on your old version, you don't have that little tick mark sign. So now instead of saying active, it has this little tick mark sign, and when you hover over it, it just says published now or whenever it was published, right? As far as the actual production checklist, both of them have it. It's the same thing. So as you can see, if I click on these, it shows up the same exact way. You have the ability to enable MCP access. You can do setup error notifications on both of them. So nothing has changed there. Just visually, this has changed. Whoops. Visually, just as far as the way to activate your workflows have changed there too. And then also, of course, the versioning aspect of it. Another thing to notice is the ability to add, the ability to have autosave. Now, a quick note. So this is coming. This is not there yet. So if I just kind of like move this around, there you go, move this around. Autosave is something that's coming in January. I think that's something that was on their release notes. Right now, this is not there yet, meaning that instead of clicking on save each time you make a change on your workflow, hopefully this will be a lot smoother where it will automatically save everything, and it will probably give us some more control on when to auto save on what occasions. But we'll see. Right now, that's not released, so there's no point of talking about it. But right now, one thing I've noticed also, when you save on the new version, it is a lot quicker. So if I click on save, you know, it just seems like it's a lot quicker versus the old version, that this takes maybe a 0.1 or 2 seconds longer. But you know, the difference is not that much. The reality is, again, it's still manual. So until this autosave shows up, to be honest, the difference is not that much. But anyways, those are all the kind of visual changes that occurred. There's also a change when it comes to handling how the data is processed, how it's sent from your sub workflows to the parent workflow. And the way the sub workflow works is you can actually call separate n8n workflows from within your AI agent, for instance, or if you're building a workflow and you need to execute or call on another workflow, there's a different change in there that I'm going to put the link in the description. You can check that out because I don't want this video to be too long. But essentially, before, the data would fall through from the parent directly, but now you have the ability to have a human in the loop from the sub node that will wait for that in order for that data to be processed, and the sub node data will also show up on the execution there. But again, you can read through the details in that, and I will probably explore that a little bit more and make a demo about it, so that way I can walk through that step by step. But I just wanted to focus on the visual changes because those are the things that you can see right away. Again, there's a bunch of other security updates that has occurred, and like I said, as time goes by and as we hit the because this is just the beta right now, as we hit the stable version next week when they release that. So we'll make another video and kind of talk about those important aspects of the security changes, and then also a few details regarding the migration plan and everything else. Anyways, I just wanted to make sure you see exactly what the difference is between the visual stuff, and we will talk about the rest, of course, afterwards. Now, obviously, if you want to learn if you're new to n8n, or if you want to learn how to take advantage of n8n AI automation, because at the end of the day, why do we use n8n and automation is to solve a problem, right? Whether it's our own problem for our own business or somebody else's. That's when our community, we walk through step by step on how you can actually earn money with n8n and how to become a consultant, an AI consultant, how you can use n8n with other platforms like voice agents. We are partnered with Retail AI, where we go through and show you exactly how to create production ready voice agents with n8n and Retail AI, and of course vibe coding, a bunch of other stuff. Check out the community. Link is going to be in the description. Hopefully I'll see you inside. All right. So all of this changes obviously is available on the cloud version automatically when you update it. So again, if you don't have an account, you can click on the link in the description. You can create a cloud account. Pricing for this is going to be $20, at least in the US, for the starter plan and pro, and then it goes up from there. You have multiple options. So if you want to self-host, obviously, based on the release docs, it looks like all of this is available on the self-hosted version as well. So if you're hosting it locally on your machine or a virtual private server, so for instance, if you want to have the same advantage or the same functionalities of the cloud, but on your own virtual private server, you can use something like Hostinger. This is what I use as well, and they're one of our main channel sponsors. So you can click on the link in the description right now. They still have this Cyber Week sale, which is they're 67% off. So check that out. Once you come here, you can click on KVM2 plan. This is essentially the same thing as hosting it on your local machine, but on a private server. So once you come here, you're going to click on choose plan. Oops, let me get rid of this. You're going to click on choose plan here. And as you can see, it's only $6.49, but we have a additional coupon that you can take advantage of that will make your n8n even cheaper. So once you come here, as you can see, you can select the period. I would suggest going with 24 months because that's going to be the cheapest one, of course. Everything else you can leave the same, just it will automatically select the server based on your location. And then you will come to application. It should automatically select it, but just in case it doesn't, you make sure you're selecting n8n. So then you're going to come right here, click on have a coupon code, and then you're going to type AI workshop. And if you click on apply, this is going to give you an additional 10% off. There you go. So now it's $140. So basically $5.84 a month versus the cloud, which was $20. So go ahead and click on continue. And this is going to ask you to sign up for an account, or if you already have an account, you can go ahead and log in. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in. Okay. So once you create your account or log in, it's going to bring you right here. Go ahead and fill the billing address and the payment information as well. And you're going to click on install. It's going to take a minute, and it's going to take you to the page at your dashboard after it's installed. Okay. And then once you install, it's going to bring you right here. You're going to click on manage here. and this is going to bring into your dashboard. Obviously, if this is your first time installing this, there's not going to be an activity here, but the way to access your n8n, you're going to click on manage app, and this is going to pop up another page where now you have the ability to sign up for or update your n8n, right? So I'm just going to click on sign in here since I already have an account, and now you have the same exact updates as you. This was one of my old accounts, so that's why I haven't updated yet. And I'm also gonna, if you want to, if you want to see how to update your Hostinger account, so that way you get the version 2.0, I'm gonna put that link in the description as well, so that way you can just click on that video because I've already done a step-by-step tutorial on that. But essentially, you can now use n8n on your virtual private server. Okay, so that's how you install your n8n or use n8n on a virtual private server. Again, if you want to locally host this, you have multiple options. You can either use npm, which is the easiest way to do that, and also you can use Docker. So both of those, of npm and Docker, the version 2.0 could be utilized from there as well. Again, I've done step-by-step tutorial on both of these. I'm going to put the links in the description so that we can just follow that along. All right, so that's basically how you can take advantage of n8n in all of these different versions. Make sure you like, subscribe, because I'm going to be making more videos about this. Like I said, about the other changes in n8n that's going to be upcoming that you don't want to miss. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.